You're listening to 94.4 FM, the Friday Sports Show, the host and Petruzzi, bringing news from local area and around the world. Some very, very fascinating guests on this show. Today, we have a very interesting interview. We're going to talk about the challenges of weight loss during menopause on Menopause Awareness Day 2023. So we're going to sort of look at a case study as well. We've got Dr. Amanda Avery and Sue Sykes, who's a case study and give us some more information on some of the challenges of losing weight loss during menopause. So welcome to the show. Great to have you on board.
Thank you. Hello, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Fantastic. So could you give us a bit more of an insight in terms of the case study and what some of the challenges are, just for our listeners, in weight loss during menopause?
Sue, please share your story.
Okay, so I was originally 20 stone, or just over 20 stone, and starting to go through the menopause, experiencing lots of hot flushes, night sweats, high levels of anxiety, and I decided that taking HRT would be the cure to all my problems. So I went along to my GP, who advised me that I was too overweight to be prescribed HRT safely. So she suggested I lose weight, and then come back to her once I'd lost a significant amount of weight. So I took myself along rather reluctantly to my local Slimming World group. Didn't really want to be there because I do love my food, and I was quite lazy. I didn't really exercise at all, and I joined the Slimming World group the first week, and in my first week I lost 9 pounds. So that was really the motivation I needed to keep going, and I still managed to live my life through being on the Slimming World eating plan, because it's such a healthy eating plan. And over the course of a few years, I managed to finally get to my dream target weight, which was 9 stone loss. So that's really my journey in a nutshell. But it's changed everything. It's changed how I live my life. My hot flushes have subsided. I didn't actually have to go back onto HRT, so I didn't need any medication through the menopause, so I was very lucky in that respect. But I do attribute that to my weight loss, and my levels of exercise have improved, which therefore also improves my mental health. So my anxiety is a little less than it was. So that's me.
It sounds really interesting, Sue. It sounds like it's been life-changing for you in one respect. I mean, obviously that's sort of my take on things. Would you say for you it's been a big sort of life-changing thing for you in terms of being able to not just obviously reduce the weight, but also the menopause symptoms as well? Has that been a big, really big
Absolutely. I mean, to say it's life-changing, I think would be an understatement, because it really has changed my life. I can't imagine going back to how I was, but the fact that my hot flushes, I mean, I still have them very occasionally, but they're nowhere near on the scale that I was having them prior to losing weight. It's just I sleep better, I have a much more healthy diet. It's all things in limitation with regards to sweet treats and alcohol, that kind of thing. But on the whole, my diet is extremely healthy, but it's so easy to follow.
So just on that, Dr. Amanda, the lifestyle changes. I looked at the research. I mean, is there sort of a correlation there between, say, lifestyle changes and changes in sort of, diet that has an impact on menopause? I'm not an expert in that area, but just wondering what your take is on that.
Yes, no, thank you. Thanks, Jimmy. So we know that there are a number of physiological and psychological changes that happen as a consequence of the menopausal journey from start to end. And those changes, so things like changes in body composition, increasing joint and muscle pain, the feelings of low mood, the anxiety and depression that people can feel as a consequence of going through the menopause, and also the changes that happen resulting from the hot flushes. So, hot flushes can affect people's ability to sleep, and we know that if you are struggling to sleep or get the amount of sleep you require, then that has a lot of knock-on consequences. So there's lots of things that happen during this period in time that actually makes it quite difficult for people to both maintain a healthy body weight and also to feel motivated and inclined to make healthy lifestyle changes. So, it is a key point in a female's life that actually we can make a difference. So we do know that actually if people can have a healthier diet, if they are able to take some physical activity, then they are more likely to be able to better manage their weight during the menopausal period. And that's going to have huge advantages in terms of reducing the risk of other health consequences that occur post the menopause. So a healthy, balanced diet is really, really key during this time. And it doesn't have to be difficult. Sue mentioned that actually she still enjoys her food. She still can have some things that perhaps people perceive they can't have as part of a healthy, balanced diet. So, nothing's restricted. It's just actually having a good intake of things like your vegetables, your fruit, your whole grain cereals, your pulses, your nuts, your seeds, some lean red meat, low-fat dairy, and if you like oily fish, that's excellent to have as well, and generally sort of healthier fats in our diet. And in terms of long-term health, it's important we have sufficient protein during this time, so not going on too restrictive a diet that limits the amount of protein is important, and also following the healthier diet that also includes sufficient calcium and vitamin D is going to be really important for long-lasting bone health. So the changes are not sort of revolutionary, but it's finding a way that means that you can still enjoy your food. And for some people, some support, as Sue found, can be really, really helpful.
Yeah, no, absolutely, because I'm sort of guessing that if it is a really rigid diet, then obviously it can be sort of challenging to sort of stick to as well. So I mean, what's really interesting here is the reduction of menopause symptoms for Sue since she made the lifestyle changes. No doubt, plenty of listeners listening in thinking, okay, that there is an opportunity to sort of get out there, like he says, to make some lifestyle changes. Obviously, I'm guessing that different people all sort of, it's not going to be a one size fits all in terms of sort of, reduction in symptoms. But it's like, just for our listeners, that it's as plausible to sort of suggest that maybe if they do make the certain changes, lifestyle changes, they can reduce menopausal symptoms, as well as obviously improve other areas of life as well, and other sort of outcomes too.
Yeah. I mean, you're quite right, Jimmy. Everybody's an individual and symptoms will vary. The benefits of having sort of healthier lifestyle choices are going to vary. But actually, the chances of people feeling better as a consequence of having a healthier, balanced diet, taking more activity. I mean, Sue also mentioned the mental well-being, the positive mental well-being that she's experienced as a consequence of doing more walking. So these positive lifestyle changes are highly likely to have positive health benefits, but they will vary according to the individual and also vary according to the depth and the amount of benefit that is perceived. But it's definitely worth a try, because the chances are high that people will feel better as a consequence, and they'll feel better if they've managed their weight better through the menopause as well.
Absolutely, and so looking at the case study, there's a 9 stone loss, I believe, with Sue, and that's sort of incredible, really, when you think, in terms of being able to sort of, a lot of people are thinking, okay, is it sort of willpower? Is it, I mean, like going forward, I mean, having got to, I suppose it's a question for Sue really, having got to where you are now, Sue, is it sort of like maintaining where you are? Obviously, we all have weeks where we kind of, I'm sure we all sort of maybe slip up a little bit. But how do you feel now at the moment in terms of like, you've reduced in 9 stone, you're feeling fantastic, and life has changed. But do you see it as a challenge to sort of keep where you are? I mean, a lot of people talk about sort of willpower, but how the support of the group help you as well?
Absolutely. I mean, I still go I got to my target weight in June. I still go to my group every week because I still need that support, and I enjoy that support. It's, from a social point of view as well. So it's, again, good for my mental health. I still pick up lots of hints and tips. But going forward with maintaining my weight loss, Slimming World, you then kind of go into a different journey with your weight loss, which is all about maintaining. And there's a fantastic maintenance plan that takes you through how to maintain it, and just how to not go back to where I was. But my weight loss is so important to me that I still really feel very strongly about attending group and making sure that I'm still accountable each week when I step on the scales.
Yeah, and absolutely. And I suppose people listening to are probably thinking, is it the psychological impact of sort of reducing in weight and sort of increasing the activity that had an impact on the menopause symptoms, or is it the change you made, or is it a bit of both really? I suppose where you're concerned, the important thing is you sort of feeling better and you're out there. Absolutely. But no, it's been a really positive story, so it's really congratulations to yourself. I mean, it's not easy to to obviously reduce weight in the sense that it's one of them sort of things that you got to stick to sort of what you're doing. But if anyone wants to find out some more information, Amanda or Sue, if they want to know more about Slimming World or more information about the case study, can you signpost them anywhere?
Yes, no, indeed, Jimmy. So there's the Slimming World website where you can both find the nearest group if you wish to join a group, or how to access the online support. So that's slimmingworld.co.uk. And on the website there's also a newsroom where Sue's story is available to people to view the detail if they want the inspiration that Sue can offer, Sue's story offers. There's also the Slimming World magazine where there's lots of recipes and different tips and hints and other inspirational stories as well to share. For members who join group, if they're going through the menopausal symptoms or experiencing symptoms, then there's additional resources that can be offered to support women through the menopause, and there's podcasts to listen to. So a wealth of different information that can be accessed through different routes.
No, that's brilliant. I really want to thank you, Sue, for sharing your story. It's been an inspirational story. Dr. Avery, as always, really interesting and informative. And I suppose it sort of highlights to our listeners that, Slimming World is sort of, I think people's perceptions, there's a lot more to it than I speak for myself, I suppose, that you guys do as well. So that's really, really interesting as well, to be fair, in terms of, addressing obviously other areas as well as just sort of, reducing weight as well. So there's a social impact of it too, and also, like you've talked about there, menopause too. So thanks for coming on the show. It's been an inspirational interview. Hopefully people listening in have felt the same way, and we wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thanks, Jimmy. Thank you.